What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Ghost Rider. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into this. I'm going to give you my pros and my cons and try and make this review as short as I possibly can. Pro. Most of the acting in this movie is not bad. It's not fantastic, but it's not horrible. I like Nicolas Cage as Johnny Blaze / the Ghost Rider. I thought he was fine in the role for what he was given. He's not the best he could have been, but he's nothing all that horrible either. Peter Fonda as Mephistopheles. I actually like Peter Fonda as Mephistopheles, and I actually think this movie should have had more of Peter Fonda as Mephistopheles because I kind of like this whole this swarmy businessman type of character he was given. He was giving personality, I should say. He was given to Mephistopheles. It kind of worked for me. Him being like this deal breaker and everything, broker, I should say. I was enjoying that. Sam Elliott as the caretaker Carter Slade. I like Sam Elliott. I think Sam Elliott brought a nice dry humor to his character of Carter Slade, and the scenes with Slade and Johnny Blaze are some of the best scenes in the movie because I think Cage and Elliott have an untapped potential as an on-screen duo. On-screen duo, and they also have one of the coolest scenes in this whole movie when they're riding down the desert in Ghost Rider form, which is a badass comic book s type of scene. That's cool stuff. uh, Mark Steven Johnson as a director. He's nothing horrible. He's nothing fantastic either. He is a solid, competent director. The movie looks good for what it is. The cinematography is solid. The special effects can be very hit and miss. The use of practical effects can be well integrated in a lot of spots. The overall effect of Ghost Rider himself looks awesome. They really did a good job of bringing Ghost Rider to life and in live action. It looks fantastic. The flaming skull, the bike, the hell cycle, great stuff. It looks fantastic. I love it. Yeah, that's pretty much where my pros and cons. Some of the supporting cast in this movie have the most god awful wooden act. Well, actually, let me go back to my pros for one little minute. There is this character called Mac, played by Donald Loung, who's the comic relief character, who's also friend of Johnny Blaze. I actually like his character, and I like the friendship with he and Johnny Blaze. The movie should have did more with it, but it didn't. But the character's cool. And also, some of the action sequences in this movie are really well done, particularly when Ghost Rider is riding away from the police. That's a very entertaining action sequence to itself. I liked it. Now we can get to my cons. Okay, some of the supporting cast in this movie can be god awful. There's this prologue that chronicles the origins of Johnny Blaze with his father and selling his soul to the devil. In context, it's good, but the acting in that stuff is horrendous. The actor who played young Johnny Blaze, his acting is very stiff and very wooden. I don't buy his emotions at all. The actress who played young Eva Mendes, who is the lead, who is the romantic foil Roxanne, she is not bad. She is horrible as well. Speaking of the character of Roxanne, I do not buy the relationship between Ava Mendes and Nicolas Cage. They're both really good actors, but to me, they have just no on-screen chemistry with each other whatsoever. They're trying to make it work, but I'm just not feeling it. And that's nothing against Cage and Mendes. They're talented actors. It's just that they have a really weak script to go off, and I just don't buy their relationship at all as a romantic couple. I'm not feeling it. Another thing I don't like, the character of Blackheart. With all due respect to Wes Bentley, I've actually seen him in things where he's actually very, very good. This is not one of those things where he's good. The character of Blackheart is weak, extremely, extremely weak. Not only that, he looks like he should be in the Backstreet Boys because he just has like this typical hot topic gothic look to it. It's not intimidating at all. Maybe if you're like a 2-year old, you're gonna be scared, but no, not scary at all. And his little boy band mates that he runs around with, who are called Abigor, Wallow, and some other guy, they're called the Hidden. Ghost Rider wipes them out within a matter of seconds, and they have to literally stretch these three useless side villains apart because Ghost Rider literally can take them out within a matter of seconds. And he literally does take them out into a matter of seconds. Those characters are really footnote. And the character of Blackheart, it's an intriguing story the movie sets up with him going against Mephistopheles and them being father and son. and Blackheart wanting to take Mephistopheles' mantle as the ruler of Hell. And this, of course, brings Mephistopheles to have to enact the Ghost Rider. I like that premise of it, but I think the execution of it is kind of weak. And I think Blackheart's motivation is also kind of weak because his whole thing is that he wants to get this this thing called the Contract of San Venganza, the MacGuffin, to obtain this power so he could rule over hell and the world. It's really just a paint by numbers villain plot that you've seen 100 times. Some movies have fun with it. This movie did not have fun with it. I think it took itself way too seriously, and this movie should have been had a more of a fun vibe to it. I think Mark Steven Johnson wanted to do a hard R Ghost Rider type movie, but instead we get this wishy-washy PG-13 movie that tries to be edgy and then it pulls back way too much. And you can tell in this movie that Mark Steven Johnson, he wants to go more with what he's doing, but he's restraining himself, and by doing so, he makes a really watered down, tame movie that had elements of being pretty good, but it's just middle of the road. Like there's nothing special about Ghost Rider as a movie. It had the elements to be good. You know, it has really good production value. You have an overall, solid, talented cast that are really bombarded by a weak script. You have an intriguing character in Ghost Rider. The movie itself has an interesting father versus son premise that you could have easily paralleled with Johnny and his father Burton. That this movie doesn't even attempt to even do. You know, while Burton and Johnny have a love for one another, you know, Blackheart and Mephistopheles could have been the exact opposite of that. The movie didn't even attempt to even, you know, parallel those stories, which I think could have been really, really interesting. You know, like these two sons who crave the appreciation of their fathers, but they can't get it. I'm thinking too deep into a movie that didn't even give me that. This movie is trying to be an action spectacle, which in some cases it is. You know, it does got some good effects to it. It does got some overall good things to it, but it's got a lot of bad things to it. Like the Ghost Rider doesn't go on screen till like 50 minutes into the movie, and that's a no-no in my book. Ghost Rider should be Ghost Rider a half hour to 20 minutes in, because this movie is not even remotely interesting enough to even warrant that long stretch to Ghost Riders on screen. Because up to that point, the movie's kind of boring and kind of drags, and I'm just not invested into the story or these characters at all. But again, this movie does have some bright spots to it. It does got some cool visuals to it. You overall do have very solid directing by Mark Steven Johnson, and you do have some entertaining performances and entertaining character bantering. And that's the best I can give Ghost Rider. All in all, I'm going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It's nothing horrendous, it's nothing horrible, but at the same time, it's nothing you're going to remember either. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.